You're in Chicago. Your dad's the most iconic Bear of all time. You're sitting there. You covered him. You're there. And listen, Justin's wore on me just a little bit as far as I think he deserves a shot just because you can't keep swapping coaches and coordinators and then quarterbacks to boot. Like, I just don't see anybody benefiting from that. So I've been on air and the record saying you got to keep Justin. You got to keep Justin. You kept Eberflus. You went out and said, all right, now I got to go get coordinators. The offensive coordinator they hired, Jared, to me, is a Sean McVay guy who's been with Pete Carroll, who's doing things with Justin Fields. And I got to ask you, with Geno Smith, how does that fit Justin Fields, or does it? So my question to you is, are they keeping Justin in Chicago, or are they going after greener pastures, which we often see fail more than it does it succeed? So I think they should keep Justin, but what are you hearing, or if you can even say, what are you hearing there in Chicago? Because I would love for Justin to stay there, to be honest, and keep growing. Especially with Moore at wideout, who's shown promise. I think they can go get a big time tight end or wideout, and maybe go get our boy from Ohio State.
Smitty,
where you at with Karen?
Smitty. I think this is the big one right here. I thought Coach was going to say he wanted to go an opposite direction. That's what I was planning on Coach telling me right now that, they should. Being out on the West Coast, he's seen Caleb Williams, and that they should move on. That's what I was expecting before. I was literally just thinking about it, but now I see.
I think Caleb Williams is a Kyler Murray-esque. I think he's a bust.
Okay, listen, I respect it. My biggest thing is I've always believed in Justin. I always have, and I felt like he wasn't handled correctly early on in his career here, just with the offensive minds that were around him. And so you guys both know, man, by watching, there's certain things that he can do that you just don't see on average film and on average tape. Now, are there issues there? Yeah. I think we all look at, especially these young quarterbacks that come into the league, so looking at CJ Stroud this past season and what he's done, that's out of the norm. And I flip the script, though, and I say, well, if Justin, you can get him the weapons that he needs, start surrounding him with more talent, but also offensive-minded people that are going to help nurture him and help him grow. Because I feel like he has questions. He's not seeing the game like he was expecting he would be seeing the game and feeling the game. And there's no one there to kind of bounce that off to with him. And so that's where Luke Getsy, I don't think, vibe with him. It was like, this is my offense, my way or the highway. We're going to drop you back. You saw there was 2 times here in Chicago where Getsy switched things up and tailored things around Justin, and that's when they had success. Now, lo and behold, you start putting more weapons around him. Marvis Harrison Jr., you add some more weapons. I feel like he's only going to get better. I look at Shane Waldron. I think he has an opportunity, what he did with Geno, to kind of just mix in a little bit of his thoughts. But my guy, Kerry Joseph, as well, that they just brought over as quarterback coach. I played against him in the CFL, and I played with him in in Toronto. He's one of these guys that knows the game. He won the MVP award in 2007 when I was up there in the CFL, man. Duke can ball, but he also has that ability to talk to these young men and nurture them and help them grow. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. What I have heard here in Chicago. What? Not
to cut you off. Why you, as you say that, the success of Jordan Love, does that put more pressure on what's happening in Chicago with Justin?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's why I was so hyped for the Lions to make it to the Super Bowl, because I wanted the screws to tighten a little bit here in the city. I don't want us to feel all Bears fans like, oh yeah, we don't want the Lions to win. No, I want you to feel the pressure. I want us to see the teams in the division that are in the playoffs and they doing well, like where we need to be, and we got to get our act right. And that comes on Ryan Poles, and I'm a Ryan Poles fan as well. I like what he's done. I like what Matt Eberflus has done. Here in Chicago, a lot of people are upset about not going out, at least even like sitting there and listening to Jim Harbaugh and having a conversation with him to see if it's even possible. But on the flip side, Eberflus, man, lost his defensive coordinator like week 2, had to start not only be a head coach, but also coach the defense, which turned around by the end of the season, especially looking at that team, how they were with interceptions and also be against the run. They were a totally different defense. Now, if you compare that and they want that cohesiveness and they want to be able to kind of marry that together, I guess I see why you keep Matt Eberflus around if that's the case. The Justin thing, I see both sides. No one's saying anything, Coach. I'm tapped in with everyone. No one's. It's so tight-lipped right now. Like we don't know what's going on. But I would, for me, either way they go, I will be okay, because to me, it's either you're going to stay with Justin, and I'm fine with that because I believe in him. I know what he can do. But if you're telling me you're drafting a quarterback that you believe is a generational type player because you're doing your scouting and you're doing everything you need to do and you feel like that's the way to go, I'm going to trust you until you prove me wrong and it doesn't work out. But for a guy like Ryan Poles, this is if you're going to stay with Justin, that might, if it doesn't work out, your time as GM in Chicago might be shortened than if you go and get a new quarterback. And that, to me, that prolongs it a little bit, gives you a little bit more time with this organization when you have this young quarterback. So I see both sides of this. Poles is a guy that really likes more draft capital, and that's what I want. I want more draft capital. But I'm going to say this, Coach and Smitty, I'm going to tell you, I just want to be an organization moving forward here in Chicago that is drafting quarterbacks like every year. I don't care. It doesn't have to be in the first round. I want to draft quarterbacks to be able, if you see a guy that's in the third round that fits your system, let's start nurturing and grooming quarterbacks. We have never done that here, because now what you're going to ask to do is, whether it's stay with Justin or if you go get Caleb and you bring him in, you're doing the exact same thing we've done for years here. And that's just throw a guy in. Let's see if he fixed the problem. And if it doesn't, then we're like, oh, we don't have it. Because you look at the flip side of Green Bay, what do they do? I mean, they've had the luxury of having 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but everyone's had a chance to be able to learn from the other one. And I think that's the reason why you start seeing success. We've never done that here in this city, and I think that's the direction that we need to go. We need to start grooming quarterbacks, cultivating quarterbacks, and growing them here in Chicago.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, no one knows it more than you, but like you said, the Bears have always been known for a physical team, great defense, good running game. You guys will have almost every piece needed except the main piece, which is the quarterback position. So at what point are you going to really learn? And, me just as a neutral football fan, like, football is better when Chicago is good. We want to see the Bears be good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a believer in Fields as well. I don't know what it is. I just think we live in this microwave society where everyone wants immediate success, like right now, and no one wants to actually, groom a QB and give him 3-4 years to really mature and wait. Now with that being said, he has been in the league for about 3-4 years now. So next season, if they're going to stay with him, we need to see like a true elevation in his play. Otherwise, then they might be looking themselves in the mirror like we made a mistake. So.
Hey, Jared, not to put you on the spot, but what is your thought right now? Like, if you were grading out Poles, like, do you think he's done a good job? Are you kind of like waiting to see still? Is he in that middle of the, of the tier year wise to say, all right, give him another year to see if he goes and gets, a tight end or a big time O tackle or a D lineman? Because I think there's a few spots that you could shore up, especially protection wise, to help Justin out, and then to get another receiver. And the second part of that question is DJ Moore a number 1? I think he's a number 2, or if he is a 1, I think he needs another complimentary 2 that's very, very tightly knitted with him. Like, as far as either go get the quick inside slot guy or go get the big outside guy, but he can't be both.
No, he can't be both. I'll answer the first question. I'm in that middle area. I like things that Ryan Poles has done and how he's addressed, especially on the defensive side.
Right? So
came from the Chiefs. He knows and he's a football guy. Like he played. Like some of these. I'm not saying that you have to play to be able to know the game. We all know that. Like it depends. I just love the fact that he was in the trenches, played this game, so he understands what guys are going through. Like he gets it, and he's a former offensive lineman. So this year, this is where I want you to. In Ian Cunningham, who his assistant GM also played offensive line. So the fact is that over the last 2 years, that the offensive line has not truly been addressed like it should be is concerning to me. That's one of the things, because that was one of the positions that I thought that they would shore up, being former O linemen. Like, yo, this is going to be your area for this offense to succeed. And both of you guys know, man, you're not winning anything. You're not winning anything. I don't like for real winning unless you can dominate in the trenches on both sides of the ball. You have to be able to win the line of scrimmage. If you can't, what are you just out there playing? Like you're not going for a championship. To be able to do it, to win a championship, you gotta be secure on both sides of the ball at the line of scrimmage. So I'm in that middle period. This is gonna be his third draft. I want to see what he does here, because, and that goes behold of what he's gonna do at the quarterback position. Because if you find a way to be able to trade that pick and get a haul, like I think you can, to be able to take care of this organization, you could set this organization up for success for years to come. I think the biggest thing of talking to Bears fans is they have that FOMO. They're worried about both sides. If Justin leaves and goes somewhere to like Atlanta and he becomes amazing, then you lose him. I'm like, okay. But then they're like, but I don't want to miss out on Caleb, because if Caleb goes somewhere and he's phenomenal, now we're missing out on a generational quarterback. I'm like, I get that. So for Ryan Poles, this is, if not the biggest draft coming in off season for this organization, like in its history. Like this is where you either take a left or you take a right. Which way you gonna go here? And that's a lot of pressure. I trust him to make the right decisions. But also on the flip side to your second question, I see DJ as a number one in Chicago, right? Yeah. And I think I believe in my heart he can be a number one. But if you do pair him with another guy, if it was Marvin Harrison Jr., now to me that's what you've always been looking for. You're looking for that dynamic duo, right? And at some point, defenses have to pick their poison and who they're going to try to stop here and there. And that's the chess game. And having a guy like that, I think, added to that wide receiver group is only going to help DJ do what he did this past season on a team offensively that was, they had their issues. They were so up and down, inconsistent here and there, not getting to. And I think we're getting so pass heavy in the world that we live in. And I get it. I understand. Everybody wants to throw the football. But when it comes down to it, man, you look at the postseason, and that's what really shows you. Teams that can run the football, man, it might be the lost art. Running backs might be, not looked at the same as they used to be. But, dude, it is so – if you can't run the football, bro, you ain't doing nothing. So – that's where we got to get back to. Smash mouth football. Smitty, you were talking about it. Defense and smash mouth football. We can have that nice little balance. To me, that takes a lot of pressure off of Justin, but it also puts Justin in situations to be successful and comfortable where, all right, now we got to put 8-9 men in the box because y'all just running down our throat, and giving him them opportunities to be able to take those shots, because he does throw a really good deep ball, but you don't get an opportunity once that box is loaded. And coach, tell me, he's got to get better, and someone's got to teach him that feel of understanding man and zone and like feeling comfortable in zone. He doesn't see it. And to me, I would be motioning a lot more to give him some indications of like what cats are doing. And they didn't do that a lot here with Luke Getsy. And I'm hoping moving forward with Shane Waldron, that's a part of what he does, just to see, so we can get a grasp of what's going on before play, so we can dissect a little bit to feel comfortable to understand, okay, they dropping in zone. I got to find X, Y, Z, whatever I got to do, just to give them that indication a lot earlier.
I like Shane Waldron hire because if it's anything like McVay, which he is from the tree, what he did with Geno, they're going to run a lot of, boot naked, waggle, get Justin on the edge. Not necessarily saying, "Oh, we know he can run," but you are saying it, like put him and force the corner to make a play. Like I'm going to take off and run, or I'm going to make a decision. You got to make a decision on that edge, force the corner, which we used to call it, or drop and let me run. Like I think he's a good fit for Justin to do some things that I'm blown away, Jarrett, when I look at offenses with the quarterbacks that they have. And I'm like, that's why I'm so big on Greg Roman when he had Lamar, what he did with Lamar, because that's his skill set. I don't know why you haven't approached that. I wish they would have got Greg Roman in Chicago. I think it would have been huge for you guys. I thought it would have been a great fit, but, I just hope they didn't get Waldron to go get another quarterback. I just don't want to see another quarterback like you said. I draft one and give them the Mahomes, Alex Smith osmosis. Let me learn from you, like Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers, like Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, like so many we've seen, Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady. All the greats have had a guy. So but I don't know if the young guy is willing to do it, because at the college level and even at the high school level, Jarrett, we allow a thing called the transfer portal, and it is creating and it's going upwards. And I don't know if a kid wants to go there. He'll be like, damn, trade me. Like if he don't play right away. So I don't know, Jared. I hope that they do the right thing is all I hope.
Yeah, I know more than anybody, Coach, man. We're living in a different world now when it comes to NIL and all this stuff, and I'm all for it. I'm all for these young men, young women being able to make money and capitalizing, because I remember those times, being in school and I remember them selling Ken Dorsey's jersey at Miami, all the 11s, and he wasn't getting paid at all. I'm like, dang, bro, everybody's got an 11 jersey on. Can you imagine if you got like $20 at each jersey, dog? Like could you imagine? He was like, bro. And then Clinton Portis, when he got hot, they started doing the exact same thing. So it's given these players more of an opportunity to have their brands and be able to collect. I'm all in for that. But we are setting it up down the line for even the conversations that I've heard about Caleb, and I've heard all over the board stuff about Caleb. I don't know him, so I'm going to reserve judgment until I get a chance to know him or know someone close to him. But from the conversations of the people talking about his dad and calling the shots and stuff, that remember it was like he doesn't want to come to Chicago. Like Chicago's not, like all this stuff is like whoa. Like we're giving these young men and young women a lot of leeway and also say in what goes on at the college level. But when you come back to the NFL level, dude, you better come back down to earth, because there's nothing bigger than the shield at all. There was nothing. You're not telling people what you're doing. You better fall in line when you get there, especially when you got the old heads that have been there, the vets. Like there's a lot of stuff that you have to do. And so where we're at right now with the way that these, especially young men coming into the NFL, man, I don't know. I don't know this generation, man. I'm looking at it going, I'm hoping we get some more ballers coming out, man, because whether it's that or video games, man, they're all so locked on so many different things that we didn't have to deal with growing up, and which is taking their mind off of the opportunity for them to truly, truly be successful. And it's a crazy world. I got an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I look at them all the time. I tell them, I'm like, I ain't have these video games. Like we just be out playing. Now everybody comes home, they want to be on the Fortnite. I'm like, dog, no. You can do that after you get your stuff done, but you can't tell me that you don't have 15, 20 minutes to be able to get a workout in. Like if you on the game for 4 hours, you can show me 15 minutes to get a workout in. So where the mindset is of these athletes coming up now is, I don't know, Coach. It's a weird place.
It is, man. It is.